Deep in the frozen expanse of the Canadian Rockies, far beyond the last human footprint, lived an old wolf known only to rangers as Grey Chief. Once, his name had echoed through the valleys in the songs of other wolves, in the fearful silence of prey, and in the crackling winds of the forest. But now, there was no pack left to sing of him, only the snow, the wind, and silence. Grey Chief had once been a king among wolves, the leader of a strong, respected pack that roamed the alpine meadows and icy ridges. In his youth, his coat shimmered like steel in the sun, his stride was bold, and his howl could ripple through mountains like thunder. He had fought off rival males, hunted elk with deadly precision, and stood tall over generations of pups who followed him with admiration. But time does not fear kings. As seasons passed, challengers grew younger and bolder. His once fearsome body began to fail him in small, cruel ways. A slip on the ice here. A missed rabbit there. His breath grew short on steep climbs. The nights felt colder in his bones. He fought to hold his place, winning a few skirmishes, losing others. But wolves know when to leave with dignity. When the last challenge came, he didn't fight back. One morning, before the sun rose, he quietly walked away from the only family he'd ever known. No one followed. His paws sank into deep snow as he crossed ridge after ridge. He passed by hunting grounds that once echoed with his triumphs, now quiet and claimed by others. Birds circled above. The sky hung low with cloud. He was no longer the master of this land. He was a ghost. After days of wandering, Grey Chief found a hollow cave tucked between icy cliffs. Small, cold, but dry. It was here he chose to make his final home. He survived, barely, on small prey, mice, birds, and the occasional rabbit. His body ached with every movement. Old wounds from battles long ago flared in the cold. His ribs began to show beneath his thinning coat. Yet every morning, the old wolf emerged from his cave to greet the mountains. He would sit at the edge of a cliff, listening. Sometimes he would hear the distant call of other wolves in the valley below, packs full of energy, new leaders, young hunters. He would lower his head, not in sorrow, but in recognition. This was how the world worked. And he had played his part. But nature is merciless, even to those who once ruled it. One fateful afternoon, snow drifted in lazy spirals from a silver sky. Grey Chief hadn't eaten in 2 days. Hunger gnawed at him like a second set of teeth. Then, on the wind, came a scent, fresh. Animal. Alive. He raised his head and caught sight of a lone mountain goat, grazing on lichen near the edge of a narrow ridge. An unusual visitor to this high, rocky place. The old wolf's eyes narrowed. This might be his last chance at a real meal before another bitter night. He crept forward, one careful step at a time, blending with the snow-dusted rocks. His joints protested, but his instincts guided him. Then, the goat raised its head. It saw him. The chase began. Despite his age, Grey Chief launched forward with all the power he had left. The goat bolted across the narrow ledge, hooves slipping on ice and stone. Grey Chief followed, breathing hard, every muscle straining with the effort. But as he pushed himself harder, faster, a rock beneath his paw gave way. Suddenly, the world tilted. His front legs slid forward. His back legs lost grip. And with a terrifying lurch, he was hanging off the edge of the cliff. His claws scraped at the ledge, trying to hold on. His body swung in the freezing wind. He let out a low, broken howl that echoed into the emptiness. Not a call for help. A final cry. A goodbye. But the mountains, ancient and wise, weren't ready to let him go just yet. Grey Chief's claws dug deep into the frozen rock, but the snow kept falling, loosening his grip with every second. The wind howled around him, as if echoing the silent scream in his eyes. His breath came in gasps, cold, sharp, painful. He tried to swing his hind legs upward, but his strength was nearly gone. Below him, a sheer drop. Jagged rocks. Snowdrifts hiding death. Above him, a narrow ledge he could no longer reach. Minutes passed. Then more. Each second was a struggle between instinct and surrender. He wasn't afraid of death. He had met it before, in battle, in hunger, in winter storms. But he had never felt it so close, so final. Then, somewhere far off, came a sound unlike the wind. A low hum. The crunch of tires on icy ground. A vehicle. Fate, it seemed, had not abandoned him. Noah Carter, a wildlife biologist working with the Canadian Wildlife Federation, was making his way back to the ranger station. He had been tracking elk movement through satellite tags and checking remote camera traps. The blizzard had slowed him down, but he wasn't worried. This wasn't his first storm. As he turned a narrow bend near the cliffs, his truck headlights caught something unusual, scratches in the snow leading to the edge. He parked and stepped out, curious but cautious. Then he heard it. A low, broken whimper carried on the wind. Noah narrowed his eyes and stepped closer to the edge, and what he saw made his heart stop. There, barely holding on to life, was a massive gray wolf, its body trembling, claws bleeding as it clung to the cliff. For a second, neither moved. Man and beast locked eyes. Noah knew this was no ordinary wolf. There was something ancient in its gaze, something proud, tired, and terribly alone. He recognized it immediately. This was Grey Chief, the legendary lone wolf whose prints he had studied for years but never seen in person. "Easy now," Noah whispered, crouching low. He knew the dangers. A wild wolf, even a dying one, could still lash out in fear. But something in Grey Chief's eyes changed. The tension in his body softened, if only a little. His breathing slowed, as if he understood this man did not come to kill. Noah lay flat on the ground, reaching out slowly, voice calm. "Hang in there, old boy. I've got you." Using a climbing rope and anchor from his truck, Noah secured himself to a pine tree nearby. He threw the other end down toward the wolf, then edged closer to the cliff, lying belly down on the snow. Every movement was deliberate. One wrong step, and they would both fall. Grey Chief didn't growl. Didn't resist. Instead, he shifted just enough to allow Noah to grip the loose fur at the back of his neck. With every ounce of strength he had, Noah began to pull. The wolf was heavy. Dead weight. His body limp with exhaustion. But Noah gritted his teeth, sweat freezing to his forehead, muscles screaming in protest. Inch by inch, claw by claw, the old wolf rose. With a final surge, Noah hauled him over the edge. They both collapsed on the snowy ground, side by side, panting. Grey Chief lay still, eyes closed, his chest rising and falling slowly. Noah sat beside him, watching, not daring to move. After long minutes, the wolf opened one eye. He looked at the man beside him, really looked. There was no fear. No anger. Just understanding. Noah didn't speak. There were no words fit for this kind of moment. Then, something even more remarkable happened. Grey Chief pushed himself up slowly, shakily. He limped toward Noah, his massive frame swaying. And then, he bowed his head. A gesture not of submission, but of thanks. Noah held out his hand but didn't touch. The wolf brushed past it gently, his fur cold and matted, but alive. For a few quiet minutes, man and beast sat together, wrapped in snow and silence. Then, the clouds broke. Golden light spilled over the mountain peaks, casting long shadows across the cliffs. Grey Chief turned his head and looked at the forest beyond. It was time to go. He took a few steps, then paused, glancing back once more. Noah gave a small wave. "Go on, old king. Your mountains are waiting." The wolf huffed softly, his final thank you, then limped away, disappearing into the white trees. Noah stood there long after he was gone, listening. And then, faintly, from deep within the forest, came a howl, not loud, not strong, but proud. The last howl of the mountain's old ruler, echoing through the trees like a memory, a song, and a farewell. We appreciate you watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.